Our planet is an amazing place. There are thousands of inconspicuous locations, as well as jaw-dropping places, from amazing forests and a region that comes from the pages of a fairy tale to caves you wouldn't believe existed. This is Infinity, and in this episode, I'll show you the most beautiful places on the planet as of this year. Let's go! Bwindi Impenetrable National Park. One might think that there are hardly any beautiful places in Africa, but this is certainly not the case. The continent is rich in all kinds of amazing locations, and the Bwindi Impenetrable National Park is considered by many experts and the media to be the most beautiful place on the planet. The Bwindi Impenetrable National Park is located in Uganda and is a place of over 300 square kilometers. The park consists of plain and mountain jungle, consisting of 2 blocks of forest connected by a small corridor. The Bwindi Impenetrable National Park is one of the richest ecosystems in Africa and in the world at large. Among the East African forests, the Bwindi Impenetrable National Park has the richest population of trees, small mammals, reptiles, and butterflies. But the main feature of the Bwindi Impenetrable National Park is mountain gorillas. There are more than 300 of them here, which is half of the entire population of the subspecies. Not surprisingly, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the links of which can hardly be found anywhere else on the planet. Some places in Cappadocia are also on the UNESCO list. In general, Cappadocia was more difficult not to get on this episode than to be here because it's literally a fairy tale. This semi-desert region in central Turkey is a great example of how unusual and beautiful nature can be. Cappadocia is a fantastic landscape that looks as if it's been brought into reality straight out of a fairy tale or fantasy movie. The alien hills of Cappadocia combine with boulders that look as if they were brought here from another planet. All this is complemented by amazing buildings cut right into rocks and mountains. These are hotels, churches, and monasteries. But of course, the main feature of this magical place is tens of hundreds of balloons. That's why tens of thousands of tourists come here. Taking off at dawn in a balloon over Cappadocia is a dream worth fulfilling, because such an experience cannot be experienced anywhere else. Salar de Uyuni. Between the sky and the sky is a way to describe Salar de Uyuni, one of the most unusual and beautiful places on the planet. It's located in Bolivia, more than 3.5 kilometers above sea level. Thousands of years ago, this place looked very different. There was a giant lake. In fact, Salar de Uyuni is part of a once gigantic lake that's dried up. As a result, Salar de Uyuni became a giant salt flat of over 10,000 square kilometers. To give you an idea of the scale, if the world mines and produces about 270 million tons of salt every year, there's about 10 billion tons of salt in Salar de Uyuni alone. But the view of this place is much more interesting. During the dry seasons, Salar de Uyuni looks like a vast white desert, while during the rainy season it reveals its true beauty. The surface of the salt flat is covered by a layer of water, and Salar de Uyuni looks like the biggest mirror on the planet. From the side, you get the feeling that you're between the sky and the sky. Salar de Uyuni offers some of the best pictures on the planet, so this amazing place is definitely worth visiting. Well, if you prefer vegetation rather than bare salt soil, then you should go not to America but to Asia, specifically Japan. It's there is the Arashiyama Bamboo Grove, which many experts call the most fantastic in the world. The bamboo grove looks like a small park. Some plants in the grove reach 50 meters in height, covering the sky. This gives the impression that you're in an impenetrable thicket, which seems to wrap you up with its vegetation. The grove area is part of Japan's soundscape. A soundscape is essentially a landscape made up of a variety of sounds from the surrounding area. The stems and leaves of the bamboo, moving in the wind, creak and collide with each other to form a natural symphony. For this reason, in the morning or evening, when there are few tourists in the grove, you can hear the beautiful singing of the forest here, and not only enjoy the amazing views. Incredible places can be found not only on the surface of the earth, but also under it. Some of them deserve special attention because they're literally mesmerizing in their beauty. Stay tuned to see the most fantastic caves on the planet, as well as to learn about the other most beautiful places in the world. Let's start with the Cave of the Crystals, which can be called one of the underground wonders of the world. The giant crystal cave is located in the Mexican state of Chihuahua at a depth of 300 meters under the town of Neca. The cave was discovered in the year 2000, after which it quickly gained worldwide fame. With such huge and beautiful crystals, it was impossible for the cave to remain unknown. The giant selenite crystals are the cave's main feature. According to scientists, the sparkling crystals in the Mexican cave were formed as a result of contact between heated magma and cooled mineral-rich water. We can say that we're living in an amazing time because these crystals were formed over several centuries, and now we can see these minerals both live and from pictures. The Cave of the Crystals is an amazing place, but it has a disadvantage. It's very hot and humid, so you can't stay here more than 20 minutes. But even that's enough time to enjoy the views. The Cave of the Crystals isn't very big. It's about 27 meters long. You can say that this place is quite small. On the other side of the world, however, there is the exact opposite, Son Doong Cave. This beautiful cave in central Vietnam is now called the largest cave in the world. It's 200 meters high, 150 meters wide, and about 9 kilometers long. Son Doong Cave is so huge that there's even an underground river that floods some parts of the cave during the rainy season. As you know, caves are usually famous for their narrow passages and corridors in which it's difficult not to feel claustrophobic. This isn't the case with Son Doong Cave. The Vietnamese cave is famous for its very wide and high passages, and in some parts of the cave, light penetrates through the gaps. This makes a visit to this place definitely not torture. Tourists can properly enjoy the views of this amazing place. Waitono Glowworm Caves. Next, we have another cave in this episode, or rather a whole complex of caves. The Waitono Glowworm Caves are perhaps the most unusual caves in the world. These New Zealand caves are called glowworm caves because of the main cave in the complex. Its vault is covered by thousands of glowworms, making it look like you're looking up into the starry sky. These glowworms are found exclusively in New Zealand. The larvae of these insects make threads of gooey liquid droplets and attach them to the cave vault, then light up, thereby attracting the small insects they feed on and the tourists who come to admire them. The best part about all of this is that you can have a boat trip. A river runs through the cave and you can take a leisure trip through it. It's a trip you'll remember for the rest of your life because you'll feel like you're in a fantasy movie or a fairy tale rather than a real place on our planet. Let's return to the surface of the Earth. There are still plenty of places that are particularly beautiful. One of them is Plitvice Lakes National Park. This is the name of the national park located in central Croatia. Here you can find a lot of different things. You can find a huge number of lakes, waterfalls, caves, forests, and much more. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world, and it's recognized by hundreds of experts. Representatives of UNESCO have long appreciated this place. In 1979, it was included in the World Heritage List. Great Barrier Reef. There are many naturally formed places in the world, but they're all inferior in scale to the Great Barrier Reef. It's not only one of the most beautiful places on the planet, but also the largest natural object on Earth formed by living organisms. The Great Barrier Reef is so huge that it's visible even from space. The area is more than 344,000 square kilometers. To make you understand the scale, it's a little less than the area of Germany, or more than the area of Great Britain, Switzerland, Belgium, and Israel combined. The Great Barrier Reef is an amazing place that still amazes scientists. Given the huge area of the reef, researchers have not yet explored the full diversity of the place. According to theorists, this place hides hundreds of unknown animal species and even creatures that we thought were long extinct. The reef amazes both ordinary people and experts who have long ranked it among the most beautiful locations in the world. Although the Great Barrier Reef has lost more than half of the coral polyps that make up its structure since 1985, it remains a majestic natural structure to this day. That's all, guys. What beautiful place would you like to visit this year? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.